Buckle up, history buffs. Alaska's past stretches way back to around 14,000 BC, but its icy landscape makes it one of the toughest places on Earth to uncover hidden secrets. You'd think this would be a perfect hiding spot for those who want to keep things under wraps. But can anything stay buried forever? Let's dive into some mind-blowing discoveries from Alaska that have left even experts scratching their heads and set the internet buzzing after John Reeves' jaw-dropping claim on Joe Rogan's podcast. Buckle up, folks. You won't believe what's been hiding in plain sight for decades, literally billions of dollars worth of mammoth bones. According to local legend, back in the day, the American Museum of Natural History made a massive mistake by dumping hundreds of ancient mammoth tusks into New York City's East River around 80 years ago. These lost treasures somehow washed up on an Alaskan shore called Fairbanks, or as we call it, Boneyard, Alaska. This isn't just any ordinary boneyard, it's a treasure trove filled with countless fossils that could rake in almost billion. But here's the catch, discovering such an enormous stash wasn't easy, and archaeologists had been digging for decades to find even one set of tusks, let alone multiple sets in the same spot. Hold up, let's talk about this. If John's statement is accurate, we're looking at a game-changing discovery here. He claims his family uncovered this incredible find way back 20 years ago while on a mission to mine other minerals. What initially caught their attention was an unexpected pair of tusks, and from that moment, the adventure just got wilder. As they dug deeper into the site, they hit jackpot after jackpot. It was like uncovering treasure in their own backyard, even when they were holding actual bones in their hands. Imagine a treasure trove filled with relics from prehistoric giants like mammoths. We're talking tusks and bones galore. But it's not just about these iconic creatures. You'll also find remains of other Ice Age animals that are now extinct, such as the massive short-faced bears, the steppe bison, and even fearsome American lions. This isn't a collection from a single era either. We're talking about a mix of everything. John reveals that top-notch mammoth tusks can fetch an astonishing 1,000 apiece, sending shockwaves with Joe Rogan, who's predicting an Alaskan bone rush is just around the corner. However, John believes it's already underway. Imagine a treasure trove where people from all corners of the country flock to grab a piece and strike it rich. That's basically what's happening in the infamous Boneyard. I've got a fun story for you. Park rangers are even asking John if he can take his kids on an adventure, searching for hidden treasures amidst the bones. Now, here's the thing. While you can stumble upon smaller bones just walking around, getting to the really good stuff requires some serious heavy machinery. Nobody's dared to do this before, but trust me, what they've found so far is mind-blowing. John's family has already dug up bones that are a whopping 190-200 years old after being carbon dated. Buckle up, because the mystery of these ancient bones just got a whole lot more intriguing. The thing is, it's pretty obvious humans were involved in their creation. See, the marrow has been taken out. Maybe they wanted that rich source of nutrition for themselves back then. But here's where things get really bizarre. It looks like these bones were processed for something else entirely after that. Normally, when archaeologists dig up old bones, they're just, well, but not in this case. It seems we have a puzzle on our hands. What exactly did our ancestors do with them? The American Museum of Natural History in New York City is speaking out against these wild allegations. They've totally shut down the idea that a massive collection of fossils was carelessly discarded on Staten Island. Kendra Snyder, their representative, has made it clear there's zero evidence to back up Reeves' claims. No records, no publications, nada. The museum is now taking a step back from these outlandish statements, making sure viewers understand they're not the real deal. But hold up, we've got another side to this story. Bob Sattler, the top archaeology pro for the Tanana Chiefs Conference in Fairbanks, is here to shake things up. He's seen a draft report from Reeves' mentions, and guess what? His name is on it as a co-author. Talk about a plot twist. Sattler thinks the museum might have been kept in the dark about this report, which was allegedly written by the super-respected Dick Osborne back in the 90s. Osborne, an Alaskan genius when it comes to both anthropology and genetics, had a major project going on, studying fossils in Fairbanks mining district, and our draft report is just a small piece of that puzzle. Sattler's vouching for Osborne's expertise, and we're starting to see how complex this mystery really is. Meet Robert Osborne, the guy behind the fossils we're about to dive into. Before serving his country in World War II, he spent time unearthing Ice Age fossils at New York's top museum. Now, Sattler thinks with Osborne having hands-on experience, he would have known a thing or two about those dumped fossils ending up in the East River. Osborne's draft report is actually an early attempt to write this epic book on fossil hunting in Fairbanks mining district. But sadly, his passing in 2005 put that dream on hold, leaving us with an unfinished manuscript. Let's dive deeper into how this explosive draft report came together. Dick Osborne teamed up with Bob Sadler and Robert Evander, two big names from the museum's vertebrate paleontology department. And they're not just any ordinary team members, folks. These guys are co-authors on the original draft, which means they were right there in the thick of it as Osborne wrote this report. According to Sadler, Osborne kept them in the loop throughout the process, sharing all the juicy details that made this story so compelling. Now, here's where things get interesting. Sadler was part of the crew that thought some fossils might have ended up in the East River, but he's not convinced about the 50-ton claim. In his words, that number just sounds way too extreme. Let's dive deeper into the mystery. Sadler raises a point, suggesting maybe only some parts of these ancient treasures weren't thrown away, like scraps of tusks mixed with other unrecognizable bits and bones. He doesn't think it makes sense to toss entire tusks because they're super valuable. We typically see them displayed proudly in museums. Adding more fuel to the fire of skepticism is Pat Druckenmiller, a vertebrate paleontologist from the University of Alaska Fairbanks Museum of the North. He shares that his university had an agreement with New York's museum to send over many fossils discovered during their exploration. This makes him question the claim that Ice Age bones from Alaska were carelessly dumped into the East River. He thinks we need concrete proof before accepting this wild story. Imagine being able to uncover secrets from our planet's past. Druckenmiller says this riverbed is like a treasure trove of ancient remains, hidden for tens of thousands of years. He thinks it'd be an absolute game changer if scientists could carefully dig in and document what they find. Think DNA evidence, preserved insects, even tiny mammals. It would give us a super cool glimpse into how life was back then, not just the big animals like mammoths, but also the tiny creatures that played a huge part in shaping their world. Get ready for a fascinating story in the world of science. John's been trying to connect with experts to get his incredible fossil collection on track, but it's not easy. Despite saying he doesn't want to profit from this project, just wanting to see these ancient bones find their way home. And believe me, that's all anyone can ask for. The fossils remain unclaimed. Now, you might wonder why museums or other organizations aren't jumping at the chance to own these potentially priceless relics worth millions. The truth is, they face some tough challenges, like limited funds, fewer staff members, and most importantly, precious time. Imagine you're a top scientist, and you get an exclusive invite to explore the ultimate fossil treasure trove. But there's a catch: it might not fit your team's current research goals or budget. John warned us that the best, most significant bones are hidden deep within the lands, which means we'd need serious funding to uncover them. To make matters more complicated, studying ancient bones can be super tricky and comes with plenty of unknowns. On top of that, this boneyard lacks crucial information about how old the fossils really are, making it tough for experts to piece together a clear timeline. No wonder some institutions are hesitant to dive in. The plot thickens. Here's a twist. What if we've been looking at this all wrong? The museum might not have a hidden agenda after all. They could have simply kept the bones under wraps because they wanted to keep them out of sight, period. Over the past 20 years, John's family has stumbled upon some smaller bones, but nothing that points directly to the museum's involvement. Maybe they're just playing it cool, waiting for this whole mystery to fade away like a ghostly apparition, leaving us with more questions than answers. The debate is heating up. Hit that comment section below, and let's get the conversation started. If you're loving this content as much as we are, be sure to smash that thumbs up button and hit subscribe. New vids are dropping all the time on our channel. Stay tuned for what's next.